Brad Wright from the Single Malt Whisky Club here, and this month we have a couple of very special whiskies that will knock your Christmas stockings off. Yep, that's right, it's nearly Christmas, so we're doing our Christmas offerings in November to avoid the inevitable postal delays that December is renowned for. So that's why it's Christmas in November here, I guess, at the Single Malt Whisky Club. Our malt of the month for November is the Cameron 16 from Chief Sun Distillery. One of their family casks, and in fact, the oldest cask in the Chief Sun stable. Up until they bottled it for us anyway. Our extra for November is from cult whiskey maker Dan Woolley from Byron Bay. One-time brand ambassador for Lefroy, now distilling his own brand, Highwayman. And we are absolutely stoked to have exclusive access to one of his sublime peated expressions for our members, Batch 3.5, Torn and Velvety. So, the modern Aussie Christmas season is pretty much all about family at heart. Our malt of the month celebrates this in a quintessentially whiskey way. You see, each year, the kids from the McIntosh family fill a cask each of new make, and each cask is named for the child and the year. Last year, we were honoured to premiere the first of the family casks with the 8 and 16. And this year, his twin brother Cameron's cask from the same year is our malt of the month, the Chief's Son Cameron 16. Fully matured for 6.5 years in French oak first fill sherry cask, all the way from the Tonnelieri Sirigu cooperage in France, and I know I've mucked that pronunciation up, bottled at 49.58 ABV, the Cameron 16 is a fruity bombshell of a whiskey that is absolutely perfect for sharing around a table of hot pickings, cold cuts, or even fresh seafood. And I can tell you it's absolutely brilliant with fresh oysters. It's sensational. Okay, there it is. There's the bottle. If you notice on the back, Chief Sun have even engraved our logo and the bottle numbers on the bottom of the bottle. So let's have a taste. Here it is. You can see that lovely rich walnut colour there on the nose. Oh, look, there's yum. Lots of sweet, ripe fruit salad right up front there. There's pineapple, banana, passion fruit, pawpaw, and green apple even. There's also a real smack of afternoon jasmine flowers and honey in the mix there. Oh, yum. And the palate. Instantly mouth coating. Delightfully big and round. The briefest pepper flash makes way to all that juicy fruit mints, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves that you could ask for. There's also some really sweet burnt caramel notes in there as well. The finish? Oh, yum. Fruit, spices, caramel, and honey all dance around a distant campfire. It's rich and rolling, and it's super, super satisfying. This is truly a big, fruity whiskey that matches perfectly to the tastes and smells we commonly associate with the festive season. However your family rolls on Christmas, this rich, fruity, almost rummy whiskey, with just the merest touch of smoke, will definitely fit right in. At a smidge under 50% ABV, it'll have no problem flambeing the plum pud if you can dare to burn it. Yum. Now, on to our optional extra for November, and something that will make our resident peat freaks very happy. Dan Woolley is somewhat of a legend in Australian whisky circles, and rightly so. Behind a bar since leaving school, owning bars, training bartenders, and then consulting to over 200 new establishments in Australia. From there, he landed his dream job, brand ambassador for Lefroy, his favourite whiskey. He travelled the world through this role and was able to get some first-hand lessons in whiskey making by various legends in the Scottish, Japanese, and American distilling industries. I guess, looking in hindsight, it was pretty inevitable that he'd have a go on his own, and boy has he. Dan Woolley's Highwayman Whisky brand is located in Byron Bay, sharing space with Lord Byron Distillers. His small batch single malt whiskies have already gained a huge cult following in Australia, and every batch he produced to date has been a sellout within hours of release, in fact. These whiskies are both incredibly well made and incredibly drinkable. Dan's raw peated spirit is smooth as a baby's bum, and it really blew me away when I visited the distillery earlier this year, I can tell you. These whiskies are so rare, they definitely become collector's items as well. So, Torn and Velvety is made from a blend of 2 casks. A first fill 100 litre French oak tawny cask filled with unpeated spirit, and a 50 litre tawny cask filled with peated spirit. The result is a spectacularly fruity whiskey with a peat hit to match. There it is. Nice and dark, invitingly reddy brown. On the nose, an unmistakable peat influence on the nose sets the tone right up front. There's a charcuterie savouriness with some sea salt and dried sweet dates around the edges of it. On the palate, sweet, tawny fruit notes really cut through the savoury smokiness beautifully, creating a very well-balanced palate. Loads of sweet fruit mints, caramel, and coffee notes, whilst that smoky peat provides real shoulders for them all to climb onto. And the finish is big. Finish is big, long, chewy, and robust. A real peat freak type of finish. The smoke swirling all around, but cut through with brilliant streaks of sweet, savoury, salty, and umami in perfect harmony. Yum. It's a fantastic peat forward whiskey, but there's no rubber or band-aids here though. More campfire smoke notes. It's an absolutely fantastic peated dram. So there are our November choices. A bit early, but guaranteed to get to you by Christmas. The second of the Chief's Son family casks, the Cameron 16, a fruit-laden ode to family and Christmas. And for our peat lovers, the Highwayman Batch 3.4, Torn and Velvety. A cask-strength peated masterpiece from one of Australia's most well-known whiskey men, Dan Woolley. I'm definitely getting both. That's how I roll. Until next month, I'm Brad Wright. Slange of R.